Hi everyone, StariAri, and this is day 5 of my liquid diet. So today I woke up a little bit better. Like the beginning of the night, I didn't have any dreams, and then I got up to take my kid to school, and then I decided to just go back to sleep for just like 2 more hours. Then that's when the dreams started. I had a dream about being back in the home where my grandmother usually, well, she lived, and we would always go visit her every weekend, like Saturdays or Sundays. It really did depend on what was going on. And so that's where we all grew up, with my cousins on my mom's side of the family and all of my uncles and aunts. So we, in this dream, it was again like a dark location. So it's like nighttime. It looked like it was nighttime. I um was wearing something very bright, kind of like a golden colored something. I don't know, like a dress. And then my sister was there, and my cousins were there, and we were talking, and we're as how we are right now. Our kids were there, we were running around. Um, and the only difference is that my sister was not her body weight as what she is right now. She was super thin in that one. It was like really, really thin. And I was kind of like, what? Like looking at her like, are you okay? You're kind of thin here. So after that, there was like, I was like this big gathering, and I was talking to people about energy healing and teaching some people how to do it. And then I was doing energy healing on somebody that was kind of like a relation to me. And it was funny because she was standing right before me, and I was doing the energy healing on myself, and then it was translating or transferring to her, because we were connected, like all of our like fields of energy were connected and intertwined. And so that's how I was teaching her. I was asking her questions while I was going through each energy vortex center, asking her questions about things that would like come up, like, oh, she had a situation when she was a kid, and this and that, stuff like that, like inner child healing, as well as emotional healing, and trauma and stuff like that. And so she was like, yeah, that's absolutely right, and whatnot. And then there was a man, not really a man, more like a young adult, probably like around 19, 20 years old, sitting to my left hand side, and he was watching or observing what I was saying to this person. And then he was like, oh, that means this or whatever. And so he was kind of trying to, I guess, explain his point of view of what I was saying to her. And the girl was like, no, that's not what it means. It's exactly what she said. So he was kind of trying to learn at what I was doing. And so I told him, I was like, look, if you want to learn, you could just watch and observe, and take notes if you want, but it's not about guessing, okay? It's actually about tapping into the energy and understanding it for what it really is, and what it's being revealed to me or to you if you do this type of work. It's not about like, I'm gonna guess this is what is wrong with her. No, it's about actually feeling it in your body. So I explained that because that's what I do. Is I'm a medical intuitive, so I feel things right in my body when I have my clients, and I do energy work on them and clear them, or helping them reset something emotional within them. I feel it physically in my body. Okay, so anyway, back to my family, they were observing all of this as well. And then my sister was like very I don't know. I think she was distracted because there was this guy that we grew up with. I think they're the same age. So he was the neighbor, like my grandma's neighbor, the family that lived next door. He was our age. He had two brothers, two older brothers and an older sister who were about the same ages of my other older cousins. So it was funny because I remember them having like a friendship when we were younger, when we were teenagers. And then of course when my grandmother moved from there, we didn't see them anymore. But anyway, he shows up and he has two kids with him, and then explains that that's his kid, that he just got a divorce. And so my sister's like, ooh. So she goes and talks to him, and while I'm just observing everything, I'm just like, this is not a good idea. Like I had this feeling in the back of my, like this feeling or this gut feeling, and then in the back of my mind something said she better watch out. And I was like, okay. So I go over there and I talk to her and I'm like, hey, he's recently divorced, so you might want to watch out because you don't know how the ex-wife is. So it's funny, in the dream the ex-wife shows up and she starts kind of like coming after my sister, like talking to her like really rudely. And so I step in and I say, you know what, your divorce, whatever happens between him and whoever else, is none of your business, and let's leave it at that. And so she kind of backed away, and I was just like, why is this so, like, why is all this drama like happening in my dream? I woke up and I was just like, this is the weirdest thing ever. So I decided to do just some inner child work and see where that was going to lead me to. And then I heard a really loud voice, and it was one of my guides that says, tell your sister about the dream. And I was like, okay. And I shit you not, you guys, she sent me back a text message and she said that she's talking to a guy, or she got in touch with a guy that she used to be in high school with, who lives down in a different state now and has two kids. So I was just like, I'm tapping into this for a reason. So I told her about the ex-wife being crazy or whatever, or being mean and stuff. So I told her to just be careful. But she's like, it's not like that. She's like, it's not like that at all. We're just trying to like catch up. And I'm like, okay. So it's like kind of like, woo, like connecting into that or tapping into that. But yeah, so it's been really, really great. I've been having really good energy. I just went to school. That's why this video is so late. I just came out of school. Even we've been talking about, because I'm finishing up my final year in psychology. I'm getting a bachelor's degree in psychology, and so we are talking about chemical dependency and everything like that. So we're we're discovering different drug uses and how it affects the human body and the brain and all that stuff. So today we're learning about sacred plants pretty much, and that how they're being abused. And so I was explaining my theory on that as well, because of the way I've been, what I've learned in shamanism. And they're like, yeah, that's what we kind of figured. And so we had videos that were linked to indigenous practices of these sacred plants that we use for medicinal purposes as well as ceremony. And so all of the people were like, yeah, we understand that it's pretty much practice as a ceremony, as a connection to that tribe or connection to that type of people and stuff like that. And so the Westerners that show up and say their experiences is because they've abused the medicine. And so I explained that. I was like, anything that has an adverse effect that is called a sacred plant, that is actually used for medicinal purposes as well as ceremonial purposes of connecting you to the spirit world, if it has an adverse effect on you, is because you are abusing it and you didn't ask for permission to use it. you just decided, oh, let's go have some fun and let's get high, you know? And so I said that, and they're like, that's exactly what we thought too. And I was like, so that's why I would always give you like a adverse reaction, because you're not asking for permission from the sacred spirit that is the guardian of the plant. Instead, you're just going over there and just taking it and just thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a good old time. And you're not ready for it. It takes a while to get accustomed to, or to actually have that connection to the sacred spirits, you know. And so when people go out of their way to just take it one day, for example, without doing the proper ceremony, without doing the proper fasting routine, because there are fasting routines that you have to do. You have to like eliminate certain type of things in your diet, and to prepare your mind for it, as well as your spirit and your physical body. When you're not doing this, when you're not taking the time to do this, you're gonna have a horrible trip, especially if you're having that mentality of just wanting to do it just to have fun, or just to say that you did it. So that was a good discussion today, and they understood exactly what I was saying and all that stuff. And so I just felt like an overwhelming sense of understanding when I was there. I felt like the energy in the room just opened up completely, like their minds and their hearts opened, and I felt it on within me too. And it just it felt good. It felt good to talk to my professor, who is a psychologist, a doctor of psychology, about my traditions and my spiritual path and what I think about the sacred plants that people abuse, you know. And so it's just, I loved it. So anyway, that's day 5, you guys. Everything looks again the same way. Drinking a lot of water, having 3 shakes a day, and then of course bowel movements, and urine looks clear, crystal clear. And then what was the other thing? Losing a pound a day. So it's pretty cool. All right, you guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and till tomorrow. Bye-bye.